I'm ready.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Kristin and Tina. I'm Tina of Vagabond Creative Studio. This is Kristin with KLO, and we are back after some technical difficulties there. I hope, Kristin, can you hear me?
I can hear you and I can see you.
Fantastic. So good to see you, Kristin.
Good to see you
I
too.
noticed that I've got long sleeves on, you've got a sweatshirt on. I think that's indicative of the chilly day we're having.
Yes. I mean, I really love the heat. So I'm not ever going to complain about that. I love how warm it's been and summery it's been, but there is something a little nice about throwing a hoodie on in the morning.
Right. It is like the second day of summer, but it was like 47 degrees when we got up, but it's okay. And Mary is with us and she says, hello. Hello, Mary.
Good morning, Mary. Yeah, I mean, we slept with our windows open last night. So like I woke up, my alarm went off and I was like so snuggled in the blankets and so cozy. Cause there's like just something about that fresh, cool air in the morning that feels so good.
Yeah, there really is. Speaking of summer, we have done some like sort of traditional Wisconsin summer things. Let's talk first about berry picking. So you guys went up to Wilford's. Look at
We
that
did.
gorgeous box of berries.
Yes, we finally got out there. Our goal was to go last week. We finally got out there last Friday and picked for about an hour. And we picked, so in the middle picture here, this is my little Nora. You can see, you kind of get these trays. They're maybe like 18 inches long. And we filled 2 of those trays in about an hour. And it was so much fun. It was really hot out there on Friday afternoon. Thankfully, there was a beautiful warm breeze. But yes, we had so much fun picking. The berries are amazing. So red, like so sweet. It was cute because the girls were like, why do they taste so good? And I'm like,
Ah.
they taste so good because they're local and because we picked them fresh right out of the field.
Oh, what a cool lesson to learn. And what do you do with all those berries? Do you make like strawberry shortcake? Do you put them on pancakes? Tell us how you eat the berries.
Yeah, so my daughter had a sleepover Saturday, so she made shortcake for her girlfriends. So we had strawberry shortcake for dessert and mashed up a bunch. We have eaten a bunch already. And then we will make freezer jam out of them this week. So whatever is left, I have 1 tray left. We will slice them up and make them into jelly.
Ah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Wilford's is like a classic staple, I would say, like Wisconsin experience here, right? And viewers, if you're not familiar, it's located in Shodo. So between Manitowoc and Mishicot, it's this great farm. And my mom was out there and she picked up some peas in the pod.
Mhm.
And so then traditionally what we do is we boil them for a short time and then cover them in butter. And then instead of just eating the whole thing, it's called slipping the peas. You just like pull the peas right out of the pod. It is so good. Literally, I could eat that whole pot myself.
That sounds so good. So just so our viewers are sure, slurping the peas or slipping the peas?
In this case, slipping. You're like using your teeth and you're slipping the little peas right out of the pod itself.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. I mean, how could first of all, Wilford's peas are so sweet and so delicious. You can eat them plain.
Hmm.
Like when we've gotten them before, we've eaten them, like just peel them open and pop them in your mouth. Um,
Yes.
but to boil them and have them be tender and then put butter on them, I mean, how could you go wrong?
Yeah, it's really wonderful. If you haven't had that experience, I highly recommend it, especially with somehow the peas from Wilford's are just perfect for that.
Right. So I know the strawberries will probably go at least another week, maybe 2. Like when we were picking, there was a lot of like little, very white berries still on. So like the rows that we picked last week, somebody will be able to come back through and repick on those again in the future. The pea season is also limited. Do you know how long they have peas available?
You know what? I don't, but you mentioned that when you were out there, they hadn't picked, so they didn't have any available. And I think that's also what makes this special, right? Is that the you pick berries or the fresh peas, it's
Mhm.
a like a limited, specifically seasonal time that you can enjoy that.
Right, right. I mean, I follow their Facebook page, so that's where I've been getting my information from. So, viewers, little shout out to Wilford's Farm. If you want to go out there, I know they had tomatoes as well last week. If you want to do peas or strawberries or anything, you can look them up. The strawberry field is on Sunset Road. It's at a different location than their regular location, but go check it out. It's such a we're so first of all, I think we're super lucky to have a farm that has like berries and peas and some of these kind of, I'm not going to say unique things, but like we're lucky to have it here. So go check it out. It's really fun.
And what a great learning experience, like, and too, for the girls to learn that something fresh right from the farm,
Mhm.
from the field to your table has a different taste than something that's been picked and packaged and stored and transported.
Right.
You lose a little something.
Yes, for sure. I think my middle, Josie, I think she ate more than she actually picked. Like she would pick one and be like, look at this one. I'm like, okay, put it in the thing. And she'd be like, gone. So it was fun. It was just a fun. We've never done that before. We've always picked apples and we have a garden. We do things, but that was our first time for strawberries. It was really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah,
You mentioned whether it was slipping peas or slurping peas. It's funny because slurping, while that's something we typically don't encourage here, in places like Japan, when you slurp hot noodle soup, that's actually a compliment.
right. I have heard that before. Is that only in Japan or is that an Asian centric thing to be complimentary with your slurping?
I don't have experience in all of the countries, so I can't say for sure. But
Okay.
in Japan, it definitely is. And the way it was explained to me is that when the air like helps cool it off, like when you slurp in the air with the hot soup. And the reason you want to eat it so hot is A, it tastes really good, but in a way, you're complimenting the chef. And so when you hear that slurping sound, you're saying, it's too hot to eat, but it's so good that I can't wait. So it like, yeah.
I love that. I love your worldliness, Tina, for you to be able to share that with us. That's very cool.
Aw, thanks. Comes with a couple of years I've been on this planet.
For sure. For sure. You are very well traveled.
Hey, talking about summer, what's really cool is last week you and I, turns out we're on the beach at the same time, the same night, but completely different beaches. You guys are at Red Arrow. We were
Yep.
at Neshota playing in the waves. Look at how much fun this is.
Yeah. So Friday afternoon, we picked strawberries. The girls were like so hot from being there. And Doug got home from work. The girls are asking to go to the beach. And I'm like, hey, how about we cut up, traditional Wisconsin cheese, sausage, crackers. We'll do some veggies and fruit. Why don't we go have a picnic and just play at the beach? And he was like, okay, let's do it. So we packed up and went down to Red Arrow for like 2 hours. It was so beautiful. It was so warm. I mean, this picture probably is at like 7 or 7:30 at night. Sunny,
Wow.
the sky. Look, you can see how blue the sky is. It was a blast.
Yeah. And look at how much beach there is. I'm
Yeah.
really happy to see that there's that much beach available.
Yes, and actually, I feel like there's more. So if I was standing on the beach looking at Lake Michigan, that view past Doug would be to the south. I don't remember there being as much beach there. I don't know if they maybe cleared some of that like green shrubbery stuff back to get more beach there, but there you could have found a spot anywhere. There was a lot of people there, but there was plenty of room for us to get in there and kids were playing in the sand and our girls were swimming in the lake and they just had so much fun. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and I love your pop-up table too. That's such a nice, like, accoutrement to have to
Yeah.
make beach time better.
That's one of our Packer tailgate tables. So yeah, we maybe overhauled down there, but it was fine. It was really fun. The girls had just it was a very, very relaxing Friday night, which we loved. So
Yeah.
okay, so you guys, while we were at Red Arrow, you guys were at Neshoto Beach, right?
Right, we went to Neshoto Beach and just, like, walked in the waves, and, we didn't spend a long time there. We didn't pack a picnic or anything, but it was just so nice. There's something to me that's magical, or I just love the experience of the waves, like, lapping my shins and being in the water. It's honestly, the lake is one of my favorite things about living here. And
Right.
so any chance I can dip my toes in the lake really makes me happy. And it was cool because there were tons of people enjoying Neshota Beach. There were people in the water. There were people, playing frisbee and football and stuff on the beach and just hanging out. And it was pretty neat.
Yes. I love that. Okay, Bob. Hey, welcome to the show, Bob. He just made a comment. I don't know if you can pull that up, Tina. It says the reclaimed beach is from dredging the channel last year by the Coast Guard station.
Well, that is so good to know, Bob. Thank you for watching and thank you for having that information. That is so helpful.
I love it.
Totally appreciate it.
Right. So yeah, what a beautiful way to spend Friday night. We love Neshota Beach as well. I mean, that's just a stunning. That's probably one of our favorite places to go. For us, Red Arrow was really close. We could just pack up and run down there Friday night. But like, really, there's so many places up and down the coast here, even from Sheboygan to Green Bay, that like you can get to so quickly. And I know another favorite of ours, or the girls like, is the one just down from the car ferry dock. They went there with one of their babysitters last week and spent a couple of hours just playing. And I've seen a lot of people down there, and it's just really, it's fun.
Yeah, it's true. And there's all kinds of little beaches in between that stretch that runs between Manitowoc and Two Rivers, and
Right.
lots of little access points. So, so
Yeah.
sometimes you're even lucky enough you can find like what feels like a private beach for the day.
Right. That's right. I agree with that. Beautiful.
You
So
know,
that shot,
another
I have a question. Is that
yeah.
a drone shot from Jason, or were you guys that far in the water that you could get that shot?
Yeah, we went that far in the water. We actually
Yep.
this is one of the closer shots. We went out to just past where the waves were breaking.
Sure. That's beautiful. What a cool picture.
Yeah, and I was counting on the fact that somebody said our iPhones are water resistant. So
I love it. Okay, sorry, you were going to ask a question.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, did you hear there is a new vintage arcade that opened up in Two Rivers? And so we went and checked it out. And so this picture you can see it's got like the vintage racing games, and then there's all these like stand-up arcade games. There's maybe like 20 or 30 of them. There's like air hockey and a pool table. And it was just so fun to like kind of have that experience.
Yeah, I mean, do they have like Pac-Man and like the what is it?
Frogger, Donkey Kong, there was Dungeons and Dragons, Street Fighter, all of like those.
Yeah. What are the things called? Don't laugh at me. My brain is dead. Where you pull the thing back and it shoots the ball up, and then you had to hit the buttons.
Nope, there was no pinball there.
Thank you,
But
pinball.
that would be a fun arcade too, like an arcade of pinball games.
All I could think of was ping pong, and I knew that wasn't the right thing. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so tell our viewers, where is that if they want to go check it out?
Yeah, so this is in Two Rivers. It's right off of Washington Street, right behind UFO, Unique Flying Objects.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like in the same building, and it's called Cleveland Arcade, which is part of Cleveland Cycle Works. And actually, so not only does he have like a bike shop there, there's a complete indoor skate park. So like
Oh,
while we were playing in the arcade, there were some kids that like had their skateboards, and they were like doing tricks on these ramps and everything.
that is so cool. I had no idea that was in Traverse.
Yeah, I think it just opened.
Did it? How did you guys hear about it?
We went into the bike shop and they were like, "What is all of this?" And then he told us what was going on. I was like, "Wow, I had no idea."
Yeah. Well, props to you for giving them a shout out, because I bet they'll appreciate that.
Thanks. Well, and I think if somebody goes to play, they'll appreciate it too. And hey, speaking of bikes, Kristen, tell me what you were telling me about the Maritime Bay Bike Classic.
Okay, guys. So they're actually just down from your studio and from CrossFit. And yeah, so the Maritime Bike Classic started yesterday. It's going on today. There's racing. I think it starts around 11:30 a.m. today and goes until like 7:30 or 8 o'clock tonight. So if you guys are downtown, or you want to go check this out, like this is a really big deal. It hasn't been in Manitowoc in like over a decade. Go check it out. They go so fast. It's so crazy to see them biking. And I pulled up some information here. So I'm reading while I'm talking to you guys, so bear with me. But anyway, really, really cool, because this is bringing not only the bikers, but all their fans and their family here. It's representing hundreds of riders from 42 states and 22 countries, which I think is so cool. And John Bruner from the fitness store helped pull this together. And one of the other things that's really neat about this is the proceeds from this event actually benefit a local nonprofit. And so this year, the benefits are going to Ascend Services here in Manitowoc. So just what a really exciting thing to have. I mean, I know it changes traffic downtown and people don't always like that because some of the roads are closed for the bike race, but our restaurants are being attended, our hotels are being used, all of our stores downtown, and just all those different things like that brings people to our community. And what a great way to show what's happening in our community downtown by having a bike race where that brings people from so many different places.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so valuable. And it's really fun and unique to check out. And I would not be brave enough to participate in something like that. I love bike riding, but I could never ride at those speeds in like a tight pack. I
Right.
couldn't do it.
They're right close together. So I heard the start finish line today is close to the Pizza Garden or on the intersection where the Pizza Garden is today. And then they make a loop down by the Flower Gallery and along Maritime Drive and North Fifth Street. So if you are trying to find a spot where you can watch them, all of those spots would be good spots. So it's
Yep, Mary, you nailed it. Very cool. Very
right.
cool.
So can you put that
And
picture
if you're trying to get, oh yeah.
let's just take one more look at that. I mean, look at how many of them are packed together. Super cool looking bikes, like different front wheels versus back wheels, and
Oh, sure enough.
yeah. And there's all different classifications. So the other thing I heard earlier is the less experienced riders or the riders that don't go as fast start earlier in the day, and then as the day goes on, it gets faster. So you have to go check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool to have this back in town, I would say.
Right.
Hey, we were talking about the arcade before, and Mary asked if they have Galaga. I think I saw Galaga, Mary. I think I saw it, but I'm not 100% sure. So you'd have to go and check it out yourself. Check it out and then let us know if you got to play some classic Galaga.
That's right. Do you know what the Galaga game is? Are you familiar with the Galaga game, Tina?
Was it that obvious?
I'm only asking because I am not. I am familiar with Pac-Man, and that is the extent of my video gaming capabilities.
I recognize the name, but I was never good enough at those arcade games when I was young to waste the quarters. Do you know what I mean? Like if I played a level or two of Pac-Man, all my quarters were used up, right? Like the games like Galaga, where I think it was kind of more story based and you had to like advance. I never had enough quarters to do that.
Yeah. Mary just said it's like Space Invaders.
Oh, so it's not at all what I was thinking about. Oh, okay, cool.
Now we'll have to go play. We'll have to go check it out.
Yeah. Well, and it was neat too because like on the floor and the walls and there were streamers, everything was like a fluorescent color and then there were black lights. So like on the floor there were like little Space Invader aliens in different places and cool designs and
Very, very cool. I know.
very fun.
The kids who play video games now have no appreciation probably for those super old school machines, and like the technology then was really cool, but it is like nothing like what we have now.
Yeah, I think kids today would be hard pressed to believe that like a stand-up arcade game of Pac-Man was to us what like a PS4 game, is to them these days.
You
And
think
it's really hard to say that it's even the same category.
right. So like if Teak went there, would he be like, these games are lame, this technology is so bad?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it an arcade for old people then?
Well, I mean, he went with us and he had a good time,
Yeah.
but it was like, yeah, yeah, it's a totally different gaming experience, right? Because it was like a lot of times one person, and then when you died, then the next person had their chance,
Yes.
and they're much quicker, right? And so, a lot of the games that he plays now, the arc is much longer.
Right.
And so I think it was even just like the patience of what? My turn's over already?
Right. Oh, that's too good.
Hey, one last thing. Speaking of summer, did you guys have hail?
We did have hails. That was last Saturday morning. And I love this picture you got of it looks like a hammock
Mhm.
covered This is how like all of our chairs on our patio look like that. The ground was white, like where we have mulch. It was like, and our gutters were like clogged up.
It was crazy, and it happened, like, 3 times, like, there was a hailstorm, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, thank goodness that's over," and then it started again, and I was like, "Ah," and then it stopped, and then it started again, I was like, "What is happening?"
Yeah. At one point, I was home with the girls and Doug was at CrossFit and it started hailing, and they were like this big. And I'm like, sorry, been working on my orientation here. And I'm like, please just let it stay little. His like vehicle is outside. Like, ooh, I don't want hail damage on,
Right.
or like our campers outside. And thankfully it was all little and all is well. But we so badly needed rain and hail and whatever else was going to come down. I mean, it was so dry that we had like August, what I like to call August grass in June.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah.
so bad. So I'm very thankful that we had some days where we finally got some rain for our plants and flowers and all the things.
Well, after that storm, I checked my rain gauge and there was 1.5 inches. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of water to come down at one time. And I think what it did is it forced this guy up into the yard. And so that gave me a complete fright when I stepped outside because I've never seen a snake in our yard before.
Yes. Okay. How long do you think that snake was in real life?
3 feet.
Really? Ew.
Yep. And he's probably the girth of like Jason's thumb. And okay, nobody watching has any any idea what that means, but Jason has really big hands. So it's like not my thumb, like my thumb is much smaller than his thumb.
Yeah.
So it's probably diameter wise, I would say it was like a 2 or 1.5 inch diameter, maybe.
I was going to say like a quarter or a half dollar.
Yeah, like a quarter maybe.
Okay. It looks bigger. Like in that picture, it looks like it's
Yeah.
2 inches across or something. I don't know what. It looks much more massive.
Yeah. So it totally gave me a fright. And so then I messaged my mom and dad and I'm like, I think this is a garter snake, right? Like, is this okay? And it was so cool because then my dad showed up and he's like, okay, where's the snake? I'll help you move it. But by that time, the guy was already gone. So.
Sure. We have had snakes in our yard. This is more in Jackson than here, like brown, I can't think what they're called now, like garden snakes, but they're all brown. And one time Doug freaked out. He thought for sure it was like somebody's python that had gotten loose or something like that. And it really wasn't. It was just a regular old, Wisconsin snake that is not harmful at all. But we had some good laughs.
Mary says she thinks snakes are cute. So that's awesome. Mary, next time I have a snake issue, I'll give you a call.
That's right. Yeah, I think somebody else I saw, their snakes had come out of wherever and grown like in their hoop house. They were like cuddled together. There was 2 of them. So I wonder if like all the rain and the wet pulled them out of the ground or out of trees or wherever they would normally hang out if they were like seeking some drier land.
I think so, because when I spotted him, this was like the spot of sunshine.
Right.
And so I'm sure he had to like warm up and probably get out of that 1.5 inches of rain that was on the ground.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh.
So
cool.
Wow. Well, this has been so fun and our time has gone so fast, but it is summer. I know that you've got to get girls to their summer activities and looks like the sun might peek out today. So get out, everyone, and enjoy the coolest coast.
So good.
So fun to see you, Kristin.
Have a great day, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, everyone.